Again, Jesus. There's power in the name of.
Today on a series talking about integrity. Integrity. It is a quality that is very rare amongst people. Very rare. It is something that we should really all strive for, to live a life of integrity. See, what happened is a person with integrity gets God's attention. Amen. And we're going to look at that, and that's going to be our theme for today's message. A person with integrity gets God's attention. Amen. So integrity is the practice of being honest and showing a consistent and uncompromising adherence to strong moral and ethical principles and values. And we have to consider all of this in light of what is going on in our society. Moral values right now have seemed to been dispensed and have been discarded. As people pursue fame and fortune and advancement, their moral integrity has suffered. Money and power and fame now has become the currency that people want to acquire and to accumulate. I mean, you got people on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of these other social media platforms, all looking to get clicks, to get people to pay notice to them. We all want to be social influencers. Sure. Making a distinction or a difference through the power of being able to attract people to our website or our social media page. So those are the things that are now currently is prominent and highlighted, and people are using all kinds of strategies and schemes to seduce people to tap on their link, so that they can include you as one of their followers, one of their subscribers, someone that is able to be influence their algorithm. Yeah, these things have come in, and is now, though integrity was crippled in the general population before, now it is much more crippled. People are willing to sell their bodies, sell their souls, to try to gain some of the pleasures and the benefits that this world has to offer. They want the acclaim, they want the fame, they want the fortune, they want all of the enjoyments that this life could provide for them, not understanding the price they're paying when they sacrifice their integrity. Right now you have people that are stealing people's identity. They are trying to do their best to infiltrate and hack into people's accounts. They're unconcerned about living and doing right. They're not looking. It's interesting that they'll work hard. I mean, they'll work extremely hard and devising a scheme to steal and rob, but won't work hard at a job. An honest job. A decent paying job. Integrity. It seems like those that don't have integrity are advancing. I was noticing one person that maybe a year or so ago we had even no knowledge of. But recently he made a video that went on YouTube and on Instagram, and it had hundreds of millions of clicks. And now he's out there and he's using the platform and the richness that he has gotten, and he's spreading immorality and wickedness and evil. And it's just so hurtful and painful to see someone so young that is so sold out to spread such vile images and content. But now that he got the fame and the fortune, people are rushing to him. Examples of everyday integrity. Let's look at some examples of everyday integrity. So we could do a self-analysis. This is what we're going to call a take-home test. I teach Bible school, and because now we're online, the platform we use is Zoom. And so I have students in, some in Georgia, some here in New York, and some in other areas on different locations. And when I give a test, I have to do it through the social media platforms. And so they're online, and I use Google Docs, and they're taking the test, and I'm able to see them on screen. But I don't have access to all that is around their screen, so I don't know. They may have a book that's open that's right next to the screen, and I can't see it. So I tell them, you're on the honor system. You've been given the questions here. As a matter of fact, we have pre-tests. We go over it, we review the test, you get the answers to the test ahead of time. So just study them, and when the test is given to you, you'll be able to answer the test. And I just have to trust that they are operating according to integrity on the honor system. So how can we all operate according to an honor system where we are trusted to do what's right when the eyes of others are not watching us? First of all, refusing to share secrets and confidential information with others. Whoa. Yes, and I'll tell you sometimes it is hard. You got something good, that's supposed to be a secret. Be careful who you share your secrets with. People that you take into your confidence. Make sure that they are a person of integrity. Next, remain honest with your partner. Tell them the truth. And if you can't tell the truth, keep your mouth shut. Avoid gossiping about other people. That one is something that we all got to wrestle with at some point in our life. To live a life of integrity. You have to follow through on promises you make. Examples of everyday integrity. Next, return found items without an expectation of receiving a reward. Oh, yeah. You find somebody's wallet, and they got their personal information in it. You say, God done blessed me. One day, when I was, even before I was married, one day I lost my wallet. I had money in my wallet. I lost my wallet. I lost the money. I had my credit cards. I had my license in it. You know something? My wallet arrived in the mail one day. And everything was in there except the money. Okay. Next, examples of everyday integrity. Admit when you are wrong. I had to apologize to Chaplain Gordon. personally apologize to him and in front of the trustee members. Because I did something I should not have done. God is working with me on integrity. It is our effort that he works on all of us. So I want you to understand that this is an inclusive lesson. So this is not me pointing my fingers at you. No, this said we all. And I know some of you may have more integrity than others, but as a group, as a ministry, we want to operate in integrity because we're going to need the help of God to accomplish what we want to accomplish and be done. We want to do it God's way. Because whatever we do our way, we're going to have to sustain it. We're going to have to make sure that it works out. We're going to have to make sure that everything is able to be sustained and taken care of. No, God, we want God to touch people's hearts. We want God to move on our behalf. We want God, we got politicians, about 4 or 5 politicians that say, we're with you in this. We got people within the building department that's trying to give us ideas of how to do certain things. But we need your prayers because God got to open doors. God got to provide the angelic host to go before us and fight. And so now when we talk about integrity, every one of us, let's look at ourselves and consider how much integrity we have. So how do you know if someone lacks integrity? How do you know? A person who lacks integrity will make decisions based on how it will make them look rather than what is right. They look at their actions as a performance to be rated for approval rather than a step toward doing the right thing. So we have to correctly assess why we are doing what we do. Let's go to Job. Let's go to the book of Job. And for some of us, Job. We're going to chapter 2, verses 1 through 10. I'll be reading. And many of us are already acquainted with the story of Job. None of us would like to have gone through what Job experienced. Not the time of testing and trial and trouble and struggles that he endured. We see that in chapter 1, how he lost everything. When you're a friend of God, and when God looks on you and he appreciates your integrity, look out, y'all. Yes. Verse 1, it says this. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. And Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Verse 3 says, And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job? You know something? In chapter 1 of Job, this is the same thing God said to Satan. Have you considered my servant Job? And that's when all the problems for Job began. When God said, listen, I don't care who you have scrutinized and looked at throughout this world. I've got somebody I know that is a man of integrity. And that's Job. And as a result, Satan now said, but you have a hedge around him. But if you remove that hedge, I'll get him to curse you to your face. God said, oh, go ahead. How many of y'all would now want to have integrity with God? All of a sudden now, Job's, his oxen, they all are stolen and his servants are killed. His sheep All of them were stolen, his servants are killed. His children, 7 sons and 3 daughters, they're in a house celebrating. And then a tornado comes through. It demolishes the house. All of his children in one day, in 1 hour, are killed. And this is the man that has integrity with God. In verse 3 of chapter 2, let us return. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth or shuns evil. And notice what he included in that. And still he holdeth fast his integrity. Although you moved me against him to destroy him without a cause. Oh man. We have to understand this. God is an awesome God. Amen. That Satan comes back again. He said, but listen, I removed the hedge. I allowed you to afflict Job with trouble in his life. But yet he held fast to his integrity. And this is one thing that when we praise in God, long as things are going well in our life, what do you do when things are beginning to fall apart in your life? What do you do when all of a sudden the positive and the blessing start to flow? What do you do when you've been believing God and praising God for the house and for the car and for the good things in the job, and all of a sudden now you get a pink slip? All of a sudden now you're getting a bill collected. All of a sudden now you're getting something repossessed. What do you do? Do you hold on to your integrity? Yes. Job did. In verse 4 it says, and Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. But put forth your hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse you to your face. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in your hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself with, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain your integrity? Curse God and die. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God? And shall we not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips. Now it's interesting that in these 2 chapters of Job, the only thing Satan wanted Job to do was to curse God with his lips. He didn't want Job to go out and beat up anybody. He didn't want Job to steal nothing. His purpose or his aim was not to get Job to go out and to abuse and to criticize and to tear down and to gossip against others. No, all he wanted him to do was to curse God. And the curse is not to use profanity, but to just begin speaking negative about God. Begin to say what God cannot do. God can't get me out of this. God has failed me. God has not met my need. God has made a mistake. God is he tried to get Job to just say negative things about God. And all of us can understand that when you have people that have praised you, people that have given accolades, and they always have given honor to you, but then something happens, and all of a sudden, they turn against you. You may have said something, you may have did something, all of a sudden, they forget all the good things you did. Oh, they say, oh man, that person ain't no good. He's a mess. He's a failure. I know he was no good. The devil is not, he don't want us to do no great thing. He wants to be a public enemy number one. All he wants us to do is to change what we say about God. Change what we believe about God. The enemy wants to control our lips and our tongue.
Amen.
Let's look at this here a little closer. In verse 3, notice what it says. Thou seest he still holds fast his integrity. That is what God said about Job. You see, he still holds fast his integrity. God said, listen, that's my boy down there. He's mine. Look at, regardless of what has been done to him, he still has maintained a consistent testimony about me. Oh yeah, things have gone against him. Yeah, he lost a whole lot. He's going bankrupt, but still he said, I'm his God, and God is not deserve honor and praise and glory. Can you still praise God? Can you still give God honor and glory when your dreams are broken, when your hopes are dashed, when people are walking out your life? Can you still say, Lord, I thank you. Lord, I bless you, because Lord, you are worth anything and everything to me. Oh, yeah. Thou seest, he still holds fast his integrity. Can we hold on to our integrity when we're challenged? See, integrity makes him the same in adversity as he was in prosperity. Oh, yeah. There's some friends we have, they're friends when we're during the good time, when they're bad time, they're gone. They slide away in our bad time. When you have stuff, they're with you. But when you don't have it, you need, all of a sudden they disappear.
All right.
Integrity is his weapon, and he will not be defenseless against Satan's attack. That is our weapon, integrity. When the enemy is questioning and doubting your character and your integrity and your honesty and your sincerity, that is what becomes your weapon, your integrity. He hurling accusations, he's stating all kinds of claims against you, but when you are willing to stand firm on what you believe to be true about God, you are now using it as a weapon against Satan. He's trying to steal that weapon from your hand. He's trying to rob you of integrity. Integrity supports the sincerity of Job's loyalty and trust of God. Yeah, when he was going through those difficult times, it was integrity that revealed, does he really trust God or not? Does he really believe God? Does he really hold on to God? Or was it the things that he had? Or the things that he wanted? Integrity is now added to his character as a further validation of his uprightness. Integrity added to, let me just give you some of the qualities and characteristics of integrity, really character traits. Graciousness. I mean, there's some people that are gracious when people are gracious to them. But if you are not favorable toward them, they could be very harsh towards you. But it is amazing to me when I see, particularly there are people that deal with the public. People that are in distress and going through some crisis. And they have to now go and solicit help and support from someone else. And sometimes they can be very rude and nasty. Now they're trying to get your help, but they're very rude and nasty. But then to watch how the clerk or the supervisor or the manager engage with that person, doing their best to maintain a gracious demeanor. That's what we should be as a Christian. When things may have, not been going our way. And I was in a situation like that on this past week. I was in an office of one of the state senators, Senator James Saunders' office. And we were discussing the situation with these buildings. And one of the persons they are directed to began to speak. We can't do that. In a very curt way. And I'm just saying, I'm only asking questions. And maybe we could do this, or maybe you could suggest. And just very curt. And just saying, we cannot do it. And I'm just in a gracious way, just making an appeal unto her. Then, and I said, maybe we could do this and that. And then she started finding, she said, maybe we could do this. See, and I imagine the gracious response to her curtness allowed her to maybe take a pivot. And then now consider, maybe we can't do that, but maybe we can do this. And sometimes when we are unwilling to be gracious, we want to do tit for tat. You want to retaliate because you feel offended or disrespected. I remember once, Brother Henry was with me. We went to a lawyer and we were dealing, this was in the other building, and I had one question to ask the lawyer. I did not know him, had not met him before. Went to the Legal Aid Society to get him, and he told me what his fee was. And I said, well, one question, and I'm sitting there in his office, me and Brother Henry, and he just goes off on me for some reason. I never met the man before. He just goes off, I guess maybe he's upset with churches that needed help and all that stuff. And I said, I only want to ask you this one question. And he just went on and on and on and on and on. And I'm just sitting there waiting for him to stop. When he stopped, I said, I just want to ask you this one question. He wasn't going to deter me because I needed to answer that one question. And I asked him the question. He said, And so now instead of apologizing, here's what he did. He said, I'm going to take $300 off the fee.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Graciousness. So sometimes we don't know. Yeah, you may get even, you may get it off your chest. But what may you be losing by trying to get even with somebody? Use graciousness. Patience is another character trait of integrity. Trustworthiness. Oh, that's a big one, y'all. Can people, really truly, man, can God trust you with what's His?
Amen.
Can God trust you with what is His? Now, I know we all say, that's my money. That's my time. That's my car. That's my house. That's my. Oh, really? What happens when you die? Whose is it?
Amen.
It's out there.
Amen.
Well, the Bible said that the earth is the Lord's, the fullness thereof, and the world and they that dwell therein. And we as servants of God, our very life belongs to God.
Amen.
So if our life belongs to God, everything that we claim ourselves actually belongs to God. The breath I take belongs to God. Just imagine He decide, okay, that's your breath. Look, give me my breath. That's your strength? Well, let me take back my strength. You move on your own strength. Oh, that's your wisdom? Well, let me deny you my wisdom. We be very careful. What we claim to be ours without recognizing that it is a sense of management that God has given us everything. He's watching how we manage what is his. Honesty. Honesty is a character trait of integrity. Compassion. Compassion. To look on others that are suffering and to have a genuine concern for them. That's a character trait of integrity. Being respectful is a character trait of being intelligent. Hard working. Oh my God. Hard working. Yes. And I guess I got to go back to my experience when I was in the post office. Oh man. It's easy to fall into the pattern of those that you work around. And when I was working in the post office, people took liberties. They took liberties. Now, we was given guidelines as far as our lunch break, as far as our, coffee break as well. And then at the end of the day, our time they give us to wash up before we leave. But people would take full advantage, and I mean, what would be a 5-minute wash up before you leave become a half an hour or an hour, depending on what the supervisor's watching. A half-hour lunch break become an hour lunch break. And then they try to play tricks by having your friend clock them in and clock them out. And I fell into that trap. Oh, everybody else is doing it, so why can't I do it? And when they go ahead and bring me to say, listen, wake up, boy, you're not them. You belong to me. You are a light on this job. And so therefore, I had to begin to operate according to the guidelines and the rules of the job. And I'm going to tell you, it was not easy in the beginning. Because they were laughing. What you still working? Come on, take off early. Because they didn't want to look bad because I was working. When they would go and leave and go hide in the locker room because the shift is changing and I'm there all by myself in the section working. God was building in me integrity. Sometimes we think something that other people do, we could do. Sure. Be very careful. Be very careful that you do not operate and function according to the lifestyle, behavior, and the character of others. Because if God be your God, you want to make sure that your character and your integrity is on the level that He is expecting. Then finally, responsibility. You got to be responsible. Can you be trusted to fulfill whatever has been given to you to do? Are you responsible to handle the role, handle the position? Oh yeah, people want to have a position. They want to have a title. They want to have all of these things that come along with it, but they don't want to do the responsible thing. Those character traits of integrity. Facts concerning integrity. First of all, it's personal. You cannot have integrity for somebody else.
That's right.
And somebody else cannot have integrity for you. It's personal. Each one has to stand on their own word. Amen. Make their own decision, their own choice. Now, you have people that influence you and they influence you negatively. That will cause you to compromise your integrity. That's your fault. Yeah, absolutely. Because don't blame them because you don't find yourself in trouble now because they told you. If you're an adult, you make adult decisions. That's right. Whether people like it or not, you gotta be willing to stand on your own. With the ridicule, the laughing, the mocking, the criticizing, the threats that they will leave and separate from you, or they will bring harm to you. Your integrity has to have such a consistency and a strength to it that you will not bow and you will not surrender to others. It's personal. Facts concerning integrity, it determines your destiny. Integrity will determine, where you are, where you're going. Yeah, it's going to be determined by your integrity. Yes. Because there's all kinds of exits off the highway. There are detours that come along. Oh my God. You know, it's amazing. I consider this as a traveling experience. When you have a destination you want to go to, and you map out the course, or if you are present day, you have a GPS system, a device or whatever, and it's going to try to direct you to your final destination. You put the address in, the location you want to arrive at. But if it's an extended range where you're miles or hundreds of miles, 1,000 miles away, you have to follow that course. But along that course, there are exits. There may be detours. There may be traffic jams. There may be attractions. You know that the signboards. Now, if y'all gone to Florida and you get to North Carolina, all of a sudden you see these signs south of the border, 100 miles. And when I was young, man, we would sit up and read all the signs down I-95 going to south of the border, letting us know that in south of the border it was a great marketing and advertisement scheme all along I-95. There are tremendous billboards about south of the border, and then they got some of the attractions, some of the food that they have, all the things you could do at south of the border. And so we would glee, reading all the signs directing us to south of the border. 5 miles more, south of the border. 2 miles more, you'll be at south of the border. 1 mile more, you're at south of the border. And we're just waiting to get to south of the border. But our destination was Florida. South of the border was just an attraction on the side, a place you stop to get refreshed, replenished, maybe enjoy a little bit. And some of us trying to reach our destination, there's a south of the border that you become so enamored with, so enthused and enthralled with, that you forget your final destination. Some of us have, in our effort to try to grow up and maybe establish a family, all of a sudden somebody come along that just rocks your world. They are so attractive, they smell good, they look good, they talk good, but they're in the south of the border, y'all. They're not the final destination. As many people have messed up their lives because they stayed at south of the border. That person that they met that may have been just an acquaintance, should have been just an acquaintance. Or maybe it shouldn't even been an afterthought. But because the attraction was so strong and you could not break it, you have altered your destiny. Facts concerning integrity, it influences others. Your integrity influences others. When I was talking with our lawyer, the church lawyer, and I began to share with him the problem that I had with the strategy that he had wanted us to follow, he finally said, after I maintained my objection to it, he said, Pastor, you inspire me. Because he dealt with other pastors who had tried to acquire and get things. And he's done with people that have used all kind of other avenues that was not avenues that was based on integrity to get there. Because there's more than one way to get something.
Amen.
But you want to get it the way God wants you to get it. Because whatever God gives you, you cannot lose. And so integrity, it opens the door to opportunity. Oh yes, this is amazing about it. How that you can walk alone and you feel that everything is passing you by. You see other people being blessed with a house. You see other people getting a new car. They're getting promotions on their job, or they're getting a job. And you're there praying and you're fasting and you're believing God and you're holding on to God, but you see everybody else seem to be passing you by. But the Bible says, fret not yourself because of evildoers, neither be envious against those who work iniquity, but they shall soon be cut down as the grass, and they shall wither as the green herb. It says, trust in the Lord and do good, and the land is love, and so shall you be fed. Then it says, delight yourself also in the Lord, and he will give you the desire of your heart. Then it says, commit your ways unto the Lord, and he will bring it to pass. Amen. That's Psalms 37, 1 through 5 or 6, something like that. But see, there's wisdom in the scripture about how to handle these things when you see others advance. Right. Using their chicanery and their conniving and their scheming, and you're trying to walk with integrity. Amen. But when you walk with integrity, the right opportunity is going to show up. Yes. When you walk with integrity, God is going to open doors that no man could shut. When you walk with integrity, there are going to be privileges and benefits that God is going to present to you that is going to be undeniable and unmistakable that God did it. You cannot take no claim, and you're going to have to give him the glory. Yes, you want God to intervene in your life to give you what belongs to you. What good is it to get a house that you got to fight with your tooth and nail and sacrifice everything and die? Yes. Trying to keep it. And you want the blessing of God on your house. You want the blessing of God on your car. You got a car, a nice car, you drive around. But now, if something breaks on it, you're trying to figure out how you're going to get it fixed. Lord, I thank God for my 2003 Ford Windstar. Well, it's still going, y'all. I thought I would give it up this winter, but I don't know. Maybe going on. It keeps getting resurrected. It keeps getting resurrected. God's an awesome God. He will resurrect some things that you thought was dead in your life. God's an awesome God, y'all. Amen. Also, facts concerning integrity, it protects your conscience. When you're walking in integrity, oh my God, you can sleep at night not worrying about whether something is going to fall apart. Something going to turn against you. Something going to be exposed that you did wrong. Oh yeah, it protects your conscience. Where you can be at ease and you can approach God in prayer and there not be no wrestling going on in your spirit. You can approach God with confidence because when he examines your heart, he knows that you have lived right. You know that you have lived right and you made good decisions. Oh my God, y'all. Integrity, facts concerning integrity. It is hated by the devil. Yes. That is why the devil wanted opportunity to attack Job. Because, see, he did not have Job in his hip pocket. He did not have Job on a string and he manipulated Job. He tried all that he could, but Job would not fall for the bait. And so now he got to find a way to get access to Job because he hates Job's integrity. And I'm going to tell you, there are people that they don't like you when you tell the truth. They don't like you when you stand up for what's right. They don't like you when you're unwilling to agree with them in their foolish action and their deeds. They don't like you when you don't laugh at their crude and horrible jokes. They don't like you when you're not on board with them in their project and what they're trying to do that is immoral and unethical. They don't like you. Your integrity, the devil hates it. And that's why he wants to take you out. Because see, when you, and as I mentioned before, your integrity also gives you influence. Others that watch you. And I'm going to tell you, it happened to me at work, but I'm pretty sure it happened to you. Somebody watching you that you may be unaware of. People that in your neighborhood, in your community, on your job, wherever you go, in your family, they're watching you. And because you're a person of integrity, they have confidence in what you say. You influence their life even without you knowing it. But when you're someone that's a shyster, someone that's known to be a liar, a cheat, someone that cannot be trusted, they try to shun you. They don't want nothing to do with you. Now the thing about it is they also try to shun you if you're a person of integrity if they don't want to hear the truth. They come and ask you, and my wife will tell people, listen, don't ask him if you don't want to know the truth. We had a couple come visit us, a couple came visit us, and we fixed dinner for them and everything. And they're shacking up, they're living together. And they come into the house and they visit and all that kind of stuff. And so they sit at the table, we get in a discussion, and then finally they ask a couple questions. And I said, well, you live the way you live in your lifestyle, you living, that's not right. That's not right. Had to tell the truth. I've had to tell other people the truth. I mean, there was a couple that was living together, another couple that was living together, and they were talking about the homosexuality, the same-sex marriage, and all that stuff going on. And I turned to them and I said, well, you know something? You're living in not adultery. You're living in fornication. Right. So what's the difference? They're living, in homosexuality. You're living in fornication. In God's eyes, which you think is worse? Both of them are sin.
Amen.
So be careful how you point fingers.
Right.
Be careful what you ask me.
Say so, me too.
And Angela, oh yes, Angela. Sometimes I marvel that some of the people that call my wife and they're talking to her and she gives them advice. I said, I don't know why. They know she's going to tell them the truth. And it's going to hurt some of them, but they keep coming back because they love her integrity. They consult her for advice and guidance, and they do this sometimes the same stupid stuff over again. And she tells them the same, I told you. But her integrity attracts them back. Amen. Then finally, facts concerning integrity, it can only be proven by severe testing. Amen. Your integrity can only be proven by severe testing. So if you say, I got integrity, but you ain't went through nothing, you really don't know. You haven't had a broken heart, you don't know. You haven't had any disappointment, you don't know. You ever went through failure, you don't know. You ever faced sickness and the doctor don't have a solution, you don't know. You don't know whether you have integrity until you test it. In James chapter 1, verse 12. James chapter 1, verse 12, it says this. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation. For when he is tried, when he is tested, he or she is tested, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. When you have integrity with God, you're saying, I love God. Amen. No matter what the test is, no matter what the challenge is, no matter what the situation is, I love God. And you're going to be tested. Your love for God is going to be tested. Every week you get tested about your love for God. Every time I make an appeal, would you be willing to share? Your love is being tested. Every time God asks you to come and visit him in prayer, your love is tested. Every time he's trying to appeal to you to open the word, to read his word, you're being tested. Your love is being tested. All these things are designed to test our integrity. We are going to have into integrity. Because that should be every one of our goals. Lord, I want to be a person of integrity. That when the enemy comes, God can say, you can look at Emanuel. Yeah, he's my boy. He has integrity. No, I'm not asking. I'm not appealing to God. Hear me or pick me. No.
Amen.
But when the time is not if the time, but when the time comes. And it comes more than once. Where you will be called and put to the test. Will your integrity be revealed? We're going to stop there today.
Amen.
We're going to stop there today. I want you to think. I want you to consider. I want you to know. When you look yourself in the mirror, I want you to know whether you're a person of integrity or not. It doesn't matter what I think about you. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about you. It's about what God thinks about you and what you think about you. Those are the two people or two beings that should be a primary concern to each of us. What God thinks about me and what I think about me.
Amen. Amen, Pastor.
Integrity.
We consider this God.
Let us pray at this time.